Well, welcome in to the Friday edition here at the Quartering. I don't know that the show will be a daily thing, but recently there's just been too much to talk about. If you notice, a fan actually met up with me with that sweet-ass set sign, so thank you, my dude. I'll hang it up when I get just about 3 free minutes for the first time in a few weeks. Now, I want to cover a couple of things. One, great news for DC and comics. If they were worried about cratering as quickly as humanly possible, they have brought on probably the best possible employee to bring all sorts of negative attention to their brand, and that is Zoe Quinn. Thank God the long-awaited comic talent of Zoe Quinn has now been hired by DC to write a comic book. And we're going to get into that in just 1 second. By the way, also, a few days ago, I made a joke GoFundMe to make fun of Anita Sarkeesian. Some of you have donated money. I'm probably not going to cash that out. It was just a meme. But if you want to leave it in there, I'm going to use it for my dog's surgery. You don't have to, though. Seriously. It's just a meme. But I do appreciate those wholesome few that donated money. I'm very thankful for that. So we have goddess mode. Let's get to it. Let's get to the goddess mode because we need to know. By the way, if you don't know what Vertigo is, it's a line of comics put up by DC that was essentially adult targeted. So R-rated in a way. And I get it. I get that you'd want to consider serving adults with comic books, given the success of R-rated superhero films like Wolverine or Deadpool. I think this is in general a good idea. And when somebody told me that they were relaunching Vertigo on the 25th anniversary, I thought, this is great. I like the idea of R-rated comics. I like the idea of no holes barred, so to speak. So why in God's green earth you would bring in Zoe Quinn, nobody knows. Now, I want to show you the amazing titles that they're relaunching with, and I think you'll get a little bit of the trend. But I also want to acknowledge just how skilled Zoe Quinn is, just how involved she is in comics. Let's take a look at her Twitter profile and how much she's tweeted about comics, okay? She's obviously very deep into the comic industry. I'm sure she's always wanted to write comic books. I'm sure she's always tweeting about the industry. Let's see, 23 hours ago, get hype. She talks about her first comic, leads the DC Comics relaunch of Vertigo. Next tweet from her about the comics industry, March. Okay, so she took a couple of months off. I guess maybe she was busy. And then the last tweet she had, including the word comics, was 4 years ago in 2014, claiming TFYC's contest gets women in the industry is like claiming winning a New Yorker caption gets you in the comics industry. So it's not even really about comics, right? So a woman who spends her life on Twitter doing just about nothing else from what I can tell, has mentioned comic books a grand total of one time. People surprise YouTube man who is tweeting out gangbang porn comics of me and laughing at them is bad? Okay, so she's never tweeted about comics. She tweeted about comics as they related to social justice and herself, but never about the industry, never talked about, a book she liked, never talked about a comic book character, never talked about comic books. Oh, here's one. Oh, that's 23 hours ago. Yeah. Also, I've been working on this secretly since last year. And I got to say, really, really like writing comics. Yeah, nothing like a do-nothing, accomplish nothing person skipping the line in front of thousands of waiting pros to get her own title at DC. I'm sure this has nothing to do with pushing an agenda. Let's see what we're relaunching with, okay? So Vertigo Comics is relaunching with several new socially aware comic books. I'm sure none of these will get canceled from low sales I'm sure they'll all be, I'm sure this is totally not a virtue signal. I'm sure this totally isn't corporate charity. I'm sure these books will be read by millions. Let's see what we have. Border Town. A white guy, a black chick, an Asian chick, a Mexican dude, and a, I don't know, gorilla. When a crack in the border between worlds, you mean the U.S. and Mexico, an army of monsters from Mexican folklore in a small town of Devil's Fork, Arizona. Residents blame ensuing weirdness. The shared nightmares, the otherworldly radio transmissions, the mysterious goat mutilations on god dang illegals. This is seriously the first time I'm reading any of these. That is exactly what I thought this shit book would have been about. Will sell less than 10,000 copies. Hex Wives. Okay, let's see. The women are too powerful and must be tamed. Pass! Pass! Can we get over this? Those men totally underestimated us because of vagina narrative. It's so played out. Women don't like it. Men don't like it. Moving on. American Carnage. In this thrilling crime saga, disgraced FBI agent. Okay, great. All right, okay. Who is biracial but can pass for white goes, no, 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 no. Goes undercover in a white, no, no. Nobody's going to buy this book. Goddess Mode by Zoe Quinn. In the near future, all of humanity's needs are administered by godlike AI. It's one woman's horrible job to do tech support on it. But when Cassandra finds herself violently drawn into a hidden and deadly digital world beneath our own, she discovers a group of super-powered women and horrific monsters locked in a secret war for the cheat codes to reality. Actually, if you took out all the parts of social justice, this might be a good book. Like, I could get down with the whole AI overlord thing. I just saw Upgrade. I thought that film was excellent. By the way, what about this cover looks cyberpunk to you? That's how she describes it. That it's cyberpunk. Doesn't look anything like cyberpunk to me. High Level. Hundreds of years after the world ended and human society was rebuilt from scratch, a self-interested smuggler with a price on her forehead is forced to traverse. Come on. Is she trans? She's got to be trans or something. Oh, she does have green hair. Child of Shia, mythical city in the top of the world from which no one has ever returned. Okay, fine. Maybe. Safe Sex. Oh, you know. That's what you knew. That's what it was going to be. Look at all those terrible white men trying to keep this interracial gay couple apart. I'm sure this will sell tens of copies. A dystopian sci-fi thriller about a ragtag team of sex workers fighting for the freedom to love in a world where sexual pleasure is monitored, regulated, and policed by the government. Second Coming. Okay, so a book making fun of Christians. Great. So woke. So woke. Now, of course, this will be, let's look at some of the replies to this. Let's see. How many slay queens do you think we're going to get? How many slay queens? This is how irrelevant she is, by the way. Okay? By the way. She has 111,000 followers and only 139 people commented on this. Just like the Steam video, I bet you we can get more than 139 comments on this tweet, which will be pinned on twitter.com/thequartering. I don't know if we'll beat 463 retweets, but maybe. Most of the replies appear to be herself. Shut up and take my money. I want to see a picture, Dr. Nerdlove. I want to see you holding this with your soy milk. I want to see that you bought it. Lamau, someone told me about this project today. I realized I didn't know the name when you told me about the project. I need this like yesterday. Again, show me the receipts. I want to see all these people. We have 139 copies sold right here. Right here. Everybody knows Zoe Quinn has always wanted to be a comics pro, and this will totally not divide the comics community at all. And a lot of the narrative actually out there has been like, great, Gamergate makes Comicsgate. But the reality is, it's the same people. It's the same people that were bitching about social justice issues in video games that are now cheering this kind of garbage in the comics industry. Now, DC is welcome to lose as much money as they want. And I assure you, not one of these books will sell more than 20,000 copies. I would be willing to bet most of them won't break 15 or even 10,000. This is a pure corporate virtue signal, something that DC, of course, loves to do. And as a comic fan myself, one wonders if we all accept the fact that the sales of paper comics are dying, which is an irrefutable fact when you look at Comic-Con sales numbers. Why wouldn't we invest money instead of hiring known cancerous cells like Zoe Quinn and the people that follow her, bringing them into your ilk? These are people, again, who don't buy the comics. They don't buy the video games. They just bitch about them. Why, in a world where Steam finally put their foot down and said, no, I'm not going to deal with this virtue signaling. We're not going to be pushed around by pearl clutchers. Why would you bring this trash into an already failing industry? DC already can't make good movies. Why would they want to water down their comic offering? DC has lots of great comic books. Lots. The White Knight series, Mr. Marvel, Mr. Miracle. Lots and lots. But this is only going to water it down. It's only going to anger your fans because these are books that literally nobody was asking for. I'm sure this is going to end perfectly for the comics industry.